Hey everyone, this is DWS Darius and welcome to another day in the Fishroom. So recently I've been doing a lot of work on my aquariums. I made a few changes. I rehomed some fish, and today I want to bring you guys up to speed with this Fishroom tour. Okay everyone, so right now you're looking at my 125 gallon African cichlid tank, and this tank is doing pretty good as always. The fish, they're looking great, and the tank overall is doing pretty good. Since the last time you saw this tank, the only difference is that I added some of these stones to increase the pH. Some of them have that nice coralline algae. Of course it's dead in this freshwater, but it still looks really cool. Added some plants. These plants used to be in Indonimus' tank, however he had a tantrum and he destroyed all of them. And I just wanted to try to get these growing in here. I might have to pull them out because these plants might actually contradict my effort to grow algae. You see, I was starting to grow some nice algae up there, and if the plants actually do start growing, they might compete with the algae, and I don't want that. So I'm probably going to end up taking those plants out. But everything in this aquarium is doing awesome. Like I said, with this aquarium, I love the color. The color is really the highlight of this tank. All of my tanks, they all have their one feature that makes them stand out from the rest. And with this tank, it's color. And we look at some of my other tanks, look, we have all these kittens coming out. This is the mom, and she had 7 kittens, and they stay down here. They stay in that little room over there. Right now they're out. But all my aquariums, they all have their unique feature that makes them stick out. This tank has monster fish. That tank down there has a fish with a huge personality. Up here is just so much going on. This is my most active aquarium. And back here, the highlight is the color. The color in this tank is absolutely satisfying. I could watch this tank and just have my stress level go down because it's just very beautiful with that color. But yeah, this tank is doing good, and I'm just focusing on trying to grow that algae. So like I said, I'm probably going to take out these plants, and I'm going to focus on getting that algae to grow nicely. Besides that, if you're seeing this tank for the first time, I have all Mbuna cichlids, and I have one bristlenose pleco. But I love the Mbuna. These are the fish that got me into the hobby. And they're awesome. I'm probably going to get like 1 or 2 just to add a few more colors. But overall, I'm very satisfied with this aquarium. Next we have my second 125 gallon aquarium. We actually have a little kitten down there playing with Indonimus. But this guy, he's a little bit depressed. He bred with the jaguar, and like 3 days later, the eggs half of them were eaten. Now I want to blame him because I know he's a new father, but the thing is, that same female jaguar before, when I was trying to breed her with that male in there, I had the same results. They were in a tank together. She laid the eggs, and a few days later the eggs were eaten, and then that male attacked her. So I don't know if she's doing it, but either way, Indonimus, he's pretty depressed. You see his colors are pretty like grayish, and he hides a lot. Right now he was out because he hates cats, but overall he's not the same because he's pretty much depressed. He's not eating the same, so hopefully in a few days he come back around. But Yeah, this guy, he's a little bit upset because he was unsuccessful with that spawn. So I'm not going to try the female jaguar anymore. I tried her a couple of times and it was unsuccessful. If anything, I'll try that female Dovi up there because he is 50% Dovi, 50% jaguar, so he could breed with either one. And if that's unsuccessful, he's just going to be by himself. And really, by himself, I really enjoy him the most. When he was with the female, he wasn't that responsive. His best personality is when he's alone. So I'm probably going to keep him alone. Okay, so next we have my 40-gallon aquarium. This is my quarantine aquarium. And currently I have about 100 baby fish in here. So about a month ago, I was in my backyard and I saw the koi, they were spawning. The females swim around shooting out a bunch of eggs, and the males swim around fertilizing. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw the post. There was so much fertilizer in that pond, the top was completely white, and that was shocking. And I wanted to get as many babies as I could, so I went and I grabbed some rocks. This whole rock was covered in eggs. That one right there had eggs on it. I also put some filter media, so that when the koi went around shooting the eggs, she would shoot some eggs inside the filter media. And this is the results. We have about 100 babies in here. For the most part, they're all about 1 centimeter, but then we have that one. You know, if you ever grow out baby fish, there's always 1 or 2 that grows a lot faster than the rest. Look at that guy going in the back. That one is like 3 centimeters, about 3 times the size of all these other ones. So I'm not sure why he's growing so fast. I hope it's not because he's eating his brothers and sisters. It may be because I have a bunch of pond snails that came in here, like on the walls you can see some eggs, and hopefully he's eating the eggs and that's the reason why he's so much bigger. But that guy is like 3 times bigger than the rest, and he's definitely a keeper. When you see a fish growing that big so early, I do believe that's a sign that is going to be a very big fish. So yeah, we have the babies in here. This tank is pretty small. I was thinking about setting up like a pool in the backyard for them because these guys do get big and I want to support them. Of course, I'm not going to keep them long term, but while I'm growing them out, I want to be able to house them properly. And pretty soon this 40-gallon aquarium will seem very small for these koi because you know koi are monster fish. But yeah, I am working on a video from the day when I actually gathered the eggs from the pond until they get about 3 inches, and once they get to that size, I'll give you guys a nice video. Oh man, look at that. The baby koi that I was just talking about, he has something in his mouth and I think it's another koi. This lens is terrible, but you see him back there, he's struggling. Yeah, he has another koi in his mouth. So he's 3 times bigger because he's practicing cannibalism. So that means I'm gonna have to get that guy out. You see, he's bigger than everybody else. And that's the reason why. So yeah, he's probably gonna end up going in the pond. He is a little bit small, but I have baby mosquito fish in the pond surviving, and I can't have this guy eating off my stock. So yeah, that is the 40-gallon pond koi grow out. So next we have my 350-gallon aquarium. Now with this aquarium there's been a rescape, and whenever I do a rescape it's likely because I had to rehome some fish. Look at this. Indonimus hates cats and now he has to deal with 7 little babies. But yeah, normally in this aquarium whenever I do a rescape it's because I had to take out some fish, and I ended up taking out my convicts. It was 5 convicts. It was 2 males, 3 females, and of course I had to destroy the aquarium just to get them out. But the reason why I took them out is because they just were being very stressed out. I believe that because of all their competition is much bigger and they get much bigger, and the convicts just was having a hard time keep up. And I believe the stress of that was causing the males to just really deteriorate. Their fins were getting torn, and just overall they were becoming bad health. And it was because of just the stress of not being able to keep up. It wasn't any direct bullying, it was just the stress. These cats are just crazy. But yeah, so I had to do a rescape. This rescape, I don't know how it made the tank look a lot more brighter, which I don't like. Hopefully the pothos could grow in and make it a little bit more shaded. One thing I do like is that it makes the tank look nice and deep. The tank is 3 feet deep, and with this rescape it actually shows better how deep the tank actually is. But the goal is to make this tank dominantly Central American. So I will have to take out some more fish, including my female green terror back there. I'm also going to take out this fish. She's a hybrid jaguar dovii. I believe she just gets too aggressive and too big for these other fish that I plan on keeping in here. Same thing with my female dovii. She's actually very beautiful. Ever since I did the rescape, she's been showing a lot more color. But in the future, I believe she's going to dominate too much over these other fish. I was going to put her in this aquarium, but with this tank, I'm going to go fully South American. So because of that, it's probably best just to rehome her. Maybe somebody else could breed her or something. Besides that, this big guy over here, my G-Frias, I'm going to take him out and I'm going to try to put him inside the 880. And he's a South American fish. He belongs in there. He likes the diet that those predators eat. The only thing is that whenever you put a new fish into an aquarium, he has to try to go through the initiation into the aquarium. All the fish got to fight him and put him in his position and hierarchy. And this guy is just extremely sensitive to aggression, which is ironic because he's actually the most aggressive fish in this aquarium. So he's a very aggressive fish. However, he hates being bullied. So yeah, that's going to be a little bit weird, but I want him to go to 880. Besides that, I may take out my lead fish because eventually as these fish grow, he might not be able to keep up with the aggression. Maybe I'll put him in my African cichlid tank, my bala sharks. Eventually, I will like to take them out, but for now, they're going to stay because I believe that their activity level really rubs off for some of the other fish. And plus, I just love seeing them in this big aquarium. So they're going to stay in here for now. And also my Madagascar cichlid, he's going to stay because he's very beautiful. And then I have a bunch of catfish that are from South America. They're going to stay because you hardly notice them. But the main focal fish are going to be my Central American cichlids, my big female pierce eye, my male Jack Dempsey, the Mayan cichlid, and of course all of my Vieja. We have pink Finistratus, a female. We have a male black belt. These two are actually pairing up. I watched them fight off other fish, so pretty soon they're most likely going to spawn. We have an Argentius right here, very beautiful. We have 6 of these Vieja bifasciatus, my favorite group of fish. They're going to look the best in my opinion. We have Berhoderai, very beautiful fish. And yeah, this tank has a lot of potential. Can't wait to see these fish grow up. So yeah, I don't know when. I'm probably going to catch out the Dovai and this lady and the Great Terror, and I'm going to put inside my 210 for now and eventually figure out how to rehome them. But yeah, that is the 880, a work in progress. These fish will grow. The more they grow, they will become more beautiful, but at the same time, they will become more aggressive. So it's going to be a very entertaining aquarium. Like I said, this is the tank I come to when I want action, and this tank will provide a lot of action. No doubt, as these other Vieja grow up, they're going to pair off, and that's going to be pretty interesting. But yeah, that is the 350. Okay everyone, the final tank that we have in the basement is my 880 gallon plywood aquarium. This tank is doing pretty good, but as I told you guys, I do want to convert this into a fully South American aquarium. We're almost there. Most of the fish are from South America. We have my peacock bass, Cichlids tementis, my biggest fish, about 20 inches, Cichlids mono, my most personable fish. I could come and I actually pet this fish if I wanted to. So he lets me rub his nose, so he trusts me the most out of all my fish. Either that or he's just the most greedy. And that is actually a male. And then we have my Orinoco, which is a female. And I know this because a couple of weeks ago they actually tried to spawn, and they were unsuccessful because the red devil attacked them. But yeah, that's a female, the Orinoco. She's about 15 inches. And my mono is a male, and he's about 18 inches. And because the red devil attacked him, and the red devil, which is becoming increasingly aggressive, you can see he's no longer in this aquarium. Besides that, we have my pike. The pike is pretty aggressive, but I'm going to keep him because when it comes to his relationship with the peacock bass, he's not too bad. We have these two catfish, my Pictus catfish. Ever since I got the red devil out, these guys are at peace. Before, the red devil was constantly attacking them. And who attacks catfish? These guys mind their business, and yet the red devil was constantly attacking them. So it's good to have them out of this aquarium, and they're in here chilling. They're going to stay. I love just their look. They're a catfish that actually is able to be seen. I have my big Lima in there, and I barely see him because he's always hiding. These guys, I see them all the time, and I just love seeing them. They're not bad looking fish, so they're going to stay. My Lima, even though that's a South American fish, he is set to be rehomed in a couple of days because I barely see him, as I mentioned, and he's about 18 inches. And the last South American fish that's currently in here is my ghost knife, and he stays in that pipe over there. And I don't mind him hiding out because if I wanted to see him, all I gotta do is bring food and he eats out my hand. So that's the reason why I still keep him, even though he hides a lot. Besides that, the fish that will be taken out of here, my jaguars. That is my male. In the back we have my female, the gold morph back there. I want to take them out and put them in my 210. I'm just waiting because the male, he's still a little bit smaller than the female. He's about I'd say 12 inches. The female, she's about 13 inches, but the female, she's much more thicker. The female is much more taller. And I believe if I put them in a 210 right now, there's going to be too much of a disagreement. And I don't want them fighting each other. I don't want one killing the other. So I'm going to wait for the male to be a little bit bigger. And normally with pairs, the male has to be bigger. Last time I tried to put a pair together, look at my Lima. He was just attacked by that smaller catfish. But the last time I tried to put a pair of fish together and the female was bigger than the male, that was with my green terrors. And my beautiful male green terror was actually killed by my bigger female. So with cichlids, it's best that you have the male bigger than the female. I forgot to mention one of my favorite fish, my flagtail. He's staying in this aquarium because he is a South American fish. Lately, he's becoming very aggressive towards the peacock bass. It's actually pretty funny. He just swims out of nowhere and starts fighting them. But they're able to keep up. It's nothing to the point where I worry. But yeah, he's staying here. He's actually my top algae eater out of most of my fish in a fish room. So yeah, the two jaguars, they're coming out of here. Also my tilapia. So we have the female. In a few days, she's going to be rehomed. She's actually going to be rehomed, given to the same person as the as that guy down there. Same person who took my convict, same person who took my tinfoil barbs, as you'll see later on. So yeah, they're going to be rehomed. My male, I actually love this male now tilapia. Every day he just becomes more personable. However, he's from Africa. He doesn't fit in with the South American theme. And he's also pretty aggressive. He likes to fight everybody. He fights every single fish in this aquarium. And eventually that may be annoying. I wanted to keep him because I wanted to see just how much potential I could bring out of this fish. A lot of people don't really consider these fish as pets. They're considered a food. But I believe that this guy is an awesome pet. It's just he's a little bit too aggressive for these South American cichlids. He's more so suited for like jaguars and Central American cichlids that can handle that aggression. I'm going to keep him as long as I can, but eventually I will be taking him out so that this could be an official South American aquarium. And lastly, we have my Perlipterus elacheri. I had him the same time I bought this guy. Had him for about 4 years. He's doing awesome. He's about, I'd say, 10 inches, and I'm also going to rehome him. Mainly because in this aquarium, well, one, he's not South American, and two, in this aquarium there's a lot of blind spots, so if he come a few inches up, I won't be able to see him, and he actually likes to stay a few inches up. So yeah, I barely see him in this aquarium, so I will be rehoming him. I am actually proud that I'm able to grow that guy from 3 inches to this 10 inches. These guys are hard to grow out, they grow very slow, so he is kind of a trophy, but eventually I may rehome him just because he gets really big, and the fact that I don't want to keep him in this aquarium because he is not South American. So yeah, I'm going to be rehoming him. Besides that, I have my two peacock bass that's going to come down here that are growing up upstairs, my Azul and my second mono. And then I also have my Geoffrius. And then finally I want to add a female red terror. I believe she will look awesome. She's going to replace that color that the red devil offers. And then this tank is going to be complete. Or at least that's what I believe. We'll take a quick look above. Everything up here is doing awesome. Plants, as always, they're thriving. I don't know if I showed you guys, but I added a aloe vera plant, and I also added a Boston fern. When I first set up this tank, those were the 2 plants on my list. I just went about it wrong. I was trying to grow them in soil, and that didn't work because the soil was causing root rot. Instead, I'm growing them in this hydroponic clay pebbles, and they're doing a lot more good. But yeah, that is the 880 doing awesome. A work in progress, but as of today, I'm enjoying it. Alright, so this right here is my 210 gallon aquarium. Quite a few changes with this tank. First off, my tin foil barbs, my silver dollars, I rehomed them. As I told you guys, these fish just get way too big and I currently just didn't have enough space. So I rehomed them. They all went to one person, which is good. It's good to know that they're all in the same school and sticking together because they really are fish that depend on their schools. So yeah, I no longer have them. Instead, I bring up the red devil because, as I said, he was being very aggressive. This is likely the last tank you're going to see this fish in. Eventually, once the jaguars are big enough, they're going to come up here. The Oscar and the 2 peacock bass are going to go downstairs, and the red devil is going to be rehomed because he's just too aggressive. And it sucks because I had this guy for 4 years. His parents gave birth to him in my backyard pond. So for me to have a fish for so long and then have to rehome him, it sucks, but he gives me no choice. He actually looks good in this aquarium. He's not too aggressive. Most likely because his tank mates are smaller and they really don't pose a threat. But yeah, he's in here temporarily. We have the peacock bass, Cichlids Azul. This guy is about 9 inches. Decent looking fish. And then we have Cichlids Mono. I'm really impressed with this fish. This one actually looks better than my big mono downstairs. And this one definitely looks like a male. The colors, and then I also saw a nuku hump. That was before the red devil came in here. Before the red devil, he was the tank boss. So that's the reason why he was developing that nuku hump. But you can see it's kind of pink on that forehead, and that's the sign of a nuku hump. But look at his gold. He looks better than my other mono, so he's definitely going to be a nice fish. But of course, it's just my luck that I have 5 peacock bass, and of course, the 2 species that are the same are both males, and you know, males are super aggressive towards each other. So I figured that by the time my jaguars are big enough to come up here, these guys should be big enough to go downstairs. Same thing with this Oscar. He's the smallest. He's about 6 inches. And he'll be safe to go in a big tank once he's about, I'd say 10 inches, because Oscars, you know, they get nice and tall. And then I also have my female jaguar who was with Indonimus. She is somewhere. I just saw her. She's probably back there somewhere. But she's going to be rehomed as well because I don't want her in my Central American aquarium because she just might get too big. Maybe I'll keep her as a backup breeder. I don't know. But she's in here. And then I have like some bristlenose plecos. But like I said, really impressed with this peacock bass. Beautiful color. The azul looking awesome. And I'd say once they reach about 12, 13 inches, they should be able to protect themselves and defend themselves from the bigger peacock bass. And then I'll unite them and my South American tank will be complete. But yeah, this is the 210. And as of now, not a bad tank. Like I said, all my tanks have their highlight. And this tank has to be my tank that I'm just able to, that's able to calm me, a tank where I'm just able to relax. This is in my office, so you know, while I'm working, I want to be able to turn around and relax. And so far, the calm pace is nice. I like how everybody just swims in slow motion, so it does help. But eventually, I think that jaguar up here is going to be a little bit more appropriate. But for now, it's not bad. Okay everyone, so we're going to finalize this fish room tour up here. This is my no-tech system. These are two 20-gallon aquariums and they don't have any technology. They don't rely on any electricity, and I really enjoy these aquariums. So we have right here, this is the original, and it is looking a little bit different since the last time you saw it. I had a bunch of lucky bamboo growing from the top, but it was getting like it was like 4 feet tall and it was starting to topple over. So I switched it out. So I have one of these plants that I just pulled from the backyard pond. We have this plant right here, which is a cutting off of this Dracaena, and then I have this umbrella palm. Hopefully the umbrella palm could grow more thicker over here because it is a little bit lacking. It's not looking as good before without that upper growth. So yeah, I want a little bit more growth up here. But under the water is a complete jungle. You can't really see anything because the dwarf sage is doing awesome. I have 3 or 4 Amazon swords really big. These are actually flowers coming from the Amazon sword. And I know last time they flowered, they produced more babies from these roots or from these stems right here with the flowers on them. So yeah, that's pretty cool, and just definitely a good sign that life in this tank is happy. I have this Amazon sword over here. I wanted to grow immersed. It's over here in a shallow end. It's about, I'd say, 6 inches of water over here, and because of that, the leaves you see it get all crispy. I'm hoping that the plant registers and somehow is able to start growing some immersed leaves, because I believe that will look pretty cool. And besides that, with the fish, everybody doing good. We have a female gourami. She's somewhere in there. She's a little bit shy. I fed them already, so she's not going to come asking for food. And besides that, I have my 4 cherry barbs, 3 females to 1 male. The male is the alpha male of this aquarium. Where is he? He's really bright, so it's hard to miss him. You see him right there. And he's non-stop chasing the females. So pretty soon I will have babies, because the babies got a good chance of surviving when they do spawn. So yeah, that's that aquarium. And then over here we have this one. Now this one was actually started a couple of months after this tank, and I like this one more. We have a nice assortment of plants. We have a lot of upper growth. We have bacopa, a small piece of lucky bamboo, pothos. We have somewhere in there, this is peace lily, and then we have a nice big clump of the umbrella palm. And we also had this here water wisteria, and I love the way it just grows up and out of the water like that. So I think the upper growth is what makes this my favorite aquarium of the two. But definitely a very nice tank. This is actually this is jungle val, so these leaves could get up to 4 feet long compared to this tank. This tank has dwarf sedge, and it's obviously not dwarf, it's coming out the top of the tank. But in this tank, because these plants actually get bigger, they have the potential of growing much larger. So yeah, we have on the right side a little jungle of jungle val, and then to the left we have the Java fern and things like that. And this tank, when it comes to fish, just has my baby paradise gourami. If you saw my last video, you know that my male, he's outside in the backyard pond until these guys get a little bit bigger. Once they are bigger, I'll figure out how to rehome them. But there are about, I'd say 15 of these baby paradise gourami born in this aquarium, and they're doing awesome. They're at the point where you can definitely notice that they are paradise gourami. They're taking oxygen from the surface. This camera doesn't really let me get too close, but they are getting a little bit responsive towards my finger. You can see them interested. They're not to the point where they could eat off my hand, but they are getting interested. So just 2 very nice aquariums, and like I always say, no filters, no artificial lights. We just have natural light. We just have plant filtration. And these tanks are awesome. So yeah, that is a look at my aquariums as of today. Like I said, I will be making a few more changes in the future. I have more fish that I have to rehome, all in the effort to make my aquariums more suitable for the fish living inside them. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this fish room tour. Let me know what you guys think. This is the female gourami. That's a better look at her. Out of all my aquariums, which one is your favorite? Yeah, thank you for taking the time to watch. And I guess I'll catch you guys on the next one.